It's ahead of the hour here on this Friday morning under clear skies in Clinton. It is 4 degrees and it feels like 6 degrees below zero here this morning.
Local information that makes a difference. Here's your regional weather.
Sunny today, highs around 26 degrees. Wind chills today between 0 and 10 degrees. An east-northeast wind will shift from the south and be calm through most of the day. Increasing clouds tonight. Lows around 15 degrees, wind chills between 5 and 10 degrees. A calm south-southwest wind tonight as well. Partly sunny Saturday, highs in the mid-30s, wind chills between 5 and 15 degrees. Southwest winds at 15 to 25 miles an hour. And those winds, by the way, Saturday will shift from the south-southwest to the west-northwest in the afternoon. A 50% chance of showers in the snow showers, that is, in the overnight Saturday. Lows around 20 degrees. A gradual clearing on Sunday, a high of 30. Monday, partly sunny, warming up into the mid-40s, but quickly getting cold again. Sunny on Tuesday, highs in the mid-20s. Mostly clear skies across central Illinois as we continue through this Friday morning. Right now in Bloomington, it is 7 degrees. 8 in Hayworth, 9 in Leroy, 6 in Farmer City, 9 in Champaign, 11 in Monticello, 10 in Decatur, 5 in Mount Pulaski, 6 in Lincoln, also 6 in Springfield, 5 degrees in Peoria. 4 degrees, partly sunny in Clinton, 6 below zero. The wind chill this morning. Northeast winds are calm, 80% humidity, 10 miles of visibility here this morning. Get the latest in local weather at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Shop local first.
The economic health of our community rests with each of us, with our own pocketbooks. Economists tell us that the dollar spent at a local store is spent multiple times before it leaves our local area. From $1, you create $5 to $14 in value within the local area. The Miller Media Group and this local business encourage you to shop local first. First National Bank and Trust in Clinton. Do more with your money at First National Bank and Trust, member FDIC. This local business and the Miller Media Group ask you to shop local first.
Shop local first.
WHOW, the Big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM is coming to Monticello. It's the WHOW Hometown Tour broadcasting live from the Monticello City Hall on Wednesday, January 26th from 9 till 10 in the morning. Listen as we interview local officials and talk about the community pride that Monticello has when we bring the WHOW Hometown Tour to Monticello on Wednesday, January 26th from 9 till 10. This WHOW Hometown Tour stop is brought to you by Kaiser Abstract in Monticello. Check out their website at kaiserabstract.com. Piatt County Collision Center in Monticello. Go to their webpage at piattcountycollision.com.
You're listening to The Morning Show on the Big 1520 across central Illinois. WHOW.
Hey, fantastic Friday to you out there. Seth Lawrence with you folks for the WHOW Morning Show as we are joined in studio this morning by Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, following up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board Meeting. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Seth.
Yeah,
a little cold out this morning.
A little cold, but Happy New Year to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out as always and following up what was a busy Thursday night DeWitt County Board Meeting. Renewable energy back on the talking points. Marina back on the talking points as well. Where do we start, Terry? What from your perspective took up was most immediate out of the meeting?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes we have what I call speed bumps in a flow of our meetings, but last night I guess we had about 3 of them. We had the, like you say, the solar ordinance, approving the noise study group for the wind farm. Mm-hmm. A lot of debate, a lot of discussion on both of those issues. Mm-hmm. And then we got into some talk about the marina, the future of the marina, and the process involved with going forward and selling the 75 acres of unused property at the marina.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the solar ordinance that took up a lot of time.
Sure.
But
Well, let's start with the wind farm and the noise study. What's this all about? Because I've got a couple questions myself.
the one of the conditions that the county board put on the special use permit for the wind farm was that they had to complete a noise study on the ground to prove that their modeling that they did for their permitting process is accurate.
Mhm.
And with that, they have to do a minimum of 6 locations during all 4 seasons of the year, and it's got to be completed within 12 months of the starting of the generating power at the wind farm.
Sure.
And therefore, if they're going to turn those zones this spring, they got to get started on that process.
Okay.
'Cause they got 1 year to do it, and they got to do all 4 seasons. So they got to do spring, summer, winter, and
Mhm.
fall.
Mhm.
And there's a lot they have to put together with their consulting group.
Mhm.
The land use committee and the former zoning officer, we interviewed several consulting companies
Mhm.
and selected the one that we were recommending to be used. So we had to approve the use of the company last night. And I'll apologize, I don't have my paperwork with me to get the right logo for the company, but they're from out east, out around in Massachusetts, and got a lot of experience. And what intrigued us about them was that their process involved having people on the ground physically observing the study as it's completed.
Mhm.
They got to set up their monitors, and like if a truck comes by and makes a lot of extra noise, they can hit the button and notate that there was background noise that wasn't expected during that process, so they can filter it down to what's truly part of the
Mhm.
noise that's attributed to the wind turbines.
Sure. Does Tech Environmental
Tech
Inc.
Environmental, that's
sound
correct.
familiar? All
That's
right,
it.
very good. This sounds kind of complicated, Terry, and I know this was brought up last night as well. I know you have to have these things, kind of in the air and operating to know what the noise impact is going to
Yes.
be. But at the same time, wouldn't you want to know that before they get put up? And like I said, I know that's kind of complicated. So how about that?
That's why we put the condition on there. The NL Trade Winds, they provided sound engineers that did it with computer models,
Mm-hmm.
and when some of the noise levels with their models showed that they were going to be right at the maximum limit allowed by the Illinois Pollution Control Board at some individuals' homes. And if they got to make sure that their models are correct. If their models are underestimating the noise, it's possible that there'll be an exceedance of what's allowable by the rules. And we got that in there to make that give the people some assurance that that's what they said was going to be is true.
Now, what happens if the noise study comes back that, hey, there's too much noise? Isn't it like it has to, like, it can't go past a property line or something of that nature?
The noise level allowed is checked at the property line. There's some things that they can do to temper the noise. They can either slow the turbines down.
You don't just spray WD-40 in there?
I don't think WD-40
so?
works.
Oh, okay.
There's a different kind of blade there's a low noise blade that you can use on the turbines to reduce the noise level. And I guess as long as the noise levels are met, there's no violation. If there's an exceedance, I would say that ANEL has a problem. They're going to have to make some corrections.
Now, is this what's the blueprint for this study? Is it just the properties that encompass the turbine? Is it for any property in the footprint of the?
The consulting company will select at least 6 locations that are what they feel represent the topography of the area, the proximity of, they're set back from the homes by 2,000 feet, and so but they're going to do the study on the participating lands. They won't be going onto somebody's property that's not participating. So they'll have to find a spot that's 2,000 feet away from the tower. They'll pick some that are on the north side of the towers. Maybe another one might be a location east of the tower, so they can determine if there's any difference in wind direction. And it's commonly known that the most transmissible time of noise pollution, right, is going to be in the time of the year when the ground's frozen and bare.
Yeah.
So in the summer, when the corn's 8 feet tall, excuse me, it kind of acts as a noise muffler. But the frozen bare ground, if could amplify the noise.
Yeah. And I'm not like trying to bring up old takes or anything like that, but I just am going back in the memory bank, remembering kind of when this first got started, like the noise of these turbines was on your radar, because if I remember right, you like someone in your family or a friend of yours had experience with this. Am I remembering that right, Terry?
No, it wasn't. It was a friend. It wasn't necessarily a family member, but
okay.
there was some folks that I knew that had that felt that the noise level at their house was higher than what was projected.
I see.
And there was a lawsuit down in Macon County over the noise situation.
Okay.
And the homeowners did their own sound study, and this, by having this requirement in there, it forces the wind farm to prove it is the real world is what their computer model said.
I see. Very good. So did I miss anything in that conversation?
No, I don't think so.
You want to put out there? Very good. Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, our guest in studio. Let's real quick jump down to another renewable energy discussion that is now starting to gain a lot more steam in the community, and that's of course solar. And I know there's been some movement at the land use level, RPC, ZBA, all those things. Give us some background, Terry, and what came up last night.
Yeah, well, we quickly reviewed that our solar ordinance kind of peaked out at a facility of 2 megawatts. And maybe 10 acres of space, and we're starting to get requests for potentially a 1,700 acre facility of a 200 megawatt capacity. And we wanted to bring our ordinance up to address that scale of a project. The land use committee worked on it, made some recommendations, and passed it along. Ordinances have to be processed through the RPC, then the ZBA, and then on to the county board. So we gave them a model to work from. RPC reviewed it over a period of, I believe, 6 different meetings they had. Made some changes.
What were the highlight of some of the changes?
Well, the main difference was that the land use committee made the recommendation that they be allowed on agricultural ground and rural development number 1, which is highway frontage ground. That might be commercial type property. We've seen the other states have some of these wind or solar projects, in the cloverleaf of the interstate and in ground near the interstate exchanges. So we thought maybe that'd be a good place for it. However, the ZBA looked at putting them in industrial zones, and and I guess in the absence of legal counsel, that recommendation was made. And problem is, DeWitt County has no unused industrial properties. The only industrial zone ground we've got is around the Arcosa wind tower factory. There's a little bit out here by the FSA office and the old Revere plant. Right. And of course the power plant is is it's never been officially rezoned, but it's definitely an industrial site. But that would leave us with an ordinance directing people to put projects where we have no place to put them. So we wanted to send that back to the ZBA and the RPC for further review and consideration.
I see. So what came out of last night's meeting as it relates to solar?
It got referred back to.
Oh, you sent it back. That was okay.
And, it's on hold again.
Okay.
Got to have more time for more review.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, there were some folks that were representing some of these solar projects that there's interest in here locally. What'd you hear from them?
Oh, there was one gentleman that represented and two gentlemen that represented the families that own the farm ground that's being proposed for the solar entities, and explained what they've done in other counties. It's not quite like a wind farm, granted the whole farm is covered up, but there's no big massive concrete structures for decommissioning. You can pull their theory is you can pull all the posts out of the ground and put the corn planter back in the field and start planting again.
So what would you, Terry, what would you say the county's attitude is towards solar? Is it welcoming? Is it, divisive like it was with wind? How would you describe where we're at as a county as it relates to wind,
I think
to solar?
They're not nearly as obtrusive to the neighborhood, I guess. They're not 600 feet tall. They don't make noise.
Right.
I sense that the main concern is from folks that are concerned about the land use situation and covering up the productive farm ground with a project like that. It all goes back to, farm owners, their property rights. If you want to grow corn on your ground, you can grow corn. If you want to grow beans, you can grow beans. If you want to turn it into pheasant habitat, you can turn it into pheasant habitat. And now the situation and opportunities coming forward to have a solar project. I can relate to the people in the immediate neighborhood, how it changes everything. You end up where you had your view where you once looked out your back window and you had miles of corn, and now you're going to have a chain link fence and glass panels. So, I think maybe it's not as intense as the wind, the opposition, but for a few people, it's very concerning.
Gotcha. Well, Terry, let's take a time out here. We'll come back and talk marina when we come
good.
back. Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, my guest in studio, following up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. More to come on WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Friday. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network. Corn lower, beans lower, and wheat starting the day lower. March corn opening 608.5, down 2.5. May corn down 2 3/4, 608, and December corn 559 3/4, down 2.5. March beans 14.19, down 6 3/4. May beans starting the day 14.27 3/4, down 6 3/4. November beans 13.14 1/2. Down 5 3/4. March wheat starting 782.5, down 7 3/4. May wheat down 7.5, 786. July wheat opening 774, down 7 1/4. March bean meal 396.50, that's down 4.30. And March bean oil opening this Friday 63.28, up 40 cents. Look at the opening numbers this Friday morning on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor.
New trucks and SUVs are coming here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. This is Scott Baum. Yes, we have new inventory arriving, and you can see what will arrive right on our website. Just click on the pre-order and reserve tab. From there, you will find vehicles in transit and vehicles in production. Or just call our sales staff and we'll help. Find Silverados, Equinoxes, Blazers, including Tahoes and Suburbans, as well as our complete Buick line of SUVs. BaumChevyBuick.com. right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless has an immediate opening. They're looking for a full-time internet installer to perform the initial setup of wireless internet and voice over IP services, as well as troubleshoot and repair wireless and phone services for customers. You'll be responsible for the basic installation and maintenance of wireless equipment. No experience necessary. Includes health benefits, mileage reimbursed. Starting pay is $15 an hour. Find out more and apply by going to mrsystemswireless.com, then clicking About, then Employment. Equal opportunity employer.
This is the morning show on 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence, and Terry Ferguson is the DeWitt County Board Chair and our guest in studio this morning as we follow up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. And Terry, this marina situation, it's very interesting, continues to move along. Just give us kind of a quick, maybe minute or so overview of what's gone on leading up to more discussion last night.
Okay. We've got a lot of updates that need to be made out at the marina. When the power company gave the property to the county, there was an additional 75 acres across the bay from the marina that, they just gave us in case somebody wanted to develop a campground or, whatever for the property. This summer, we decided we wanted to sell it. We wanted to sell the property and then use the proceeds to improve the marina.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going through all the hoops we got to go through to do that. One of the deals was the power company requested that we put some conditions on there to prohibit any intense development of that property because of the proximity to the nuclear plant. So we agreed to last night to apply the conditions as requested by the Exelon. Want to maintain a good relationship with Exelon. They're a good partner in the community, and we're going to be doing that. We approved the using Haycraft auction service and Nord's auction service as a team to promote and hold the auction to sell the property.
And there were some conditions that Exelon has put on that sale.
Yeah,
correct?
they wanted. The main thing is they want to minimize development. They want to put a limit. There's 2 tracks, 2 parcels of ground. They want to limit it to 1 home per parcel. They don't want to have a full-blown subdivision out there.
Mm-hmm.
The other use, they don't want anybody building a chemical plant, a fertilizer plant, or anything like that because of the proximity to the lake. So it was pretty agreeable stuff. The lay of that property. Really our current zoning ordinance, because of the lack of road frontage, you could really only have room to build 1 house on it.
Mm-hmm.
And without going into a full-blown subdivision.
Yeah, sure. Well, and from the sounds of it, most of the interest is recreational, so may not even need some of those things.
It seems to be. We had there was a piece of recreational property that sold in behind the power plant a couple of years ago that brought $21,000 an acre. And so the value for recreational property, is pretty significant. And, we hope that we can get enough out of the property to go forward with some of the capital improvements that we need to make out there.
Perhaps a really stupid question, forgive me. So let's say, you sell it, that person or whatever entity buys it. What if they sell it and those conditions aren't
the conditions are part of the deed?
Okay.
So it would be attached to the.
So they would have to meet those.
They would
conditions.
have to meet the conditions.
I see. Okay. I figured that was the case, but I just wasn't sure and wanted to ask. So, the atmosphere around this discussion, it's been contentious at times.
At times,
but
there's always there's a group that has their ideas of what needs to be done at the marina, and they're very vocal. They've got some points that are well taken. This year has been pretty awkward. We finally got the wherewithal to replace the gas dock
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be all completed by, the month of June,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still not done.
Yeah.
All because of COVID.
Yeah.
Not being able to get
Supplies.
parts and supplies.
Yep.
and,
Sure.
The boaters had, heck, they had to put gas in their boat by, the marina staff had to carry it down to them in 5-gallon buckets to pour it into their boat.
Right. Right.
It was less than ideal.
Yeah, sure. Well, Terry, got to let you go. This stuff goes fast, man. We could spend probably another hour talking about last night's meeting. So,
well, sure.
But Terry, good to have you as always, and be well. We'll catch you soon. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Seth.
Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, my guest in studio. We follow up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board Meeting. Network news on the way.